What is going on, guys? Ryan here with another episode of the Dent Digest, episode number 43. Can't believe it's episode 43. It's bonkers. So I want to get into last week's show a little bit. We had Daniel on with me to go over the tools that we brought from MTE, and there's still some stuff here that I did not bring on because I just kind of ran out of time. You know, we tried to equal it out. So there are a couple events coming up in the next few months. You have Race App News PDR Workshop that they're doing a pretty cool event there. And then you have John Scotto's RPM Dent Repair Tech Meetup up in Boston. So if you guys are in the East Coast, try to make a trip up to them or out to Race App News event. But no, it's we're ready to have a good show. We're going to do a tool giveaway, and I'm going to explain how you're going to have to do the giveaway this week. We're going to do the Dent Freaks paddle giveaway, and I'm even going to make it even better. 2 more packs of Anson PDR glue. So I'm going to explain in a little while how you're going to win. But I've got a guest here, Mr. Mr Boyett. I'm going to bring him on. He's got a pretty unique story and super nice guy. And let's bring him on. Let's get him on here. What's up, Mr. Boyett?
What's up?
How are you?
Good, good.
Yeah?
How's it going?
You know, just another day on Facebook and YouTube doing the dent life,
Yeah.
you know?
Very nice.
So what is the
on.
name of your, what? Huh?
So I'm glad to be on.
Good,
Thanks
good.
for having me.
And you're going to be the sacrificial lamb here because you're going to have to pick the winner of this Dent Freaks paddle giveaway. So
Nice.
you're going to be the bad guy, not me.
All right.
So
I've already got the number picked out, so
as long as we have that many comments, right? We're good.
that's right.
So what is the name of your company and where do you live?
So I live in Jacksonville, Florida, just 2 hours north of the Mobile Tech Expo. Probably passed through there if you drove down through there. And the name of the company is All Out Paintless Dent Removal. It's right there.
Now,
I'm sure.
if you guys have not seen him on social media, he's got one of the baddest vans for a dent guy I've seen. I mean, it is a sick van. So you did a great job with that. Great logo, by the way.
Thanks.
And great van. So
Thank you.
how long have you been doing paintless dent repair?
So this is year 22.
Shoo.
Year 22.
Old dog.
Started in 98.
Old dog. Good. At least you can I always bring it up. I like talking to older techs, and they understand how much of an advantage the new guys have.
Oh my gosh, it is insane. It is absolutely ridiculous. People always ask me, they still to this day, they just asked me the other day, you know, how long did it take you to get to until you were good? And I'm like, man, it took me honestly, 5 years before I was worth anything. Honestly. Now, you know, you see guys who are 5 years techs doing the Dent Olympics, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy the resources that new guys have between the tools, one, and the media that is available. It's insane.
Oh my God.
Absolutely
And
insane.
just the training, the how good the training has been, the seminars that are out there, Dent Trainer. I mean, that's another great avenue for these young guys. I actually know a guy, Scott Simpson, that has learned and is making a living off of just Dent Trainer. You know,
we didn't have YouTube when I started.
No, I mean it was
such a resource.
The tools are off the hook. It's unbelievable.
Tools are off the hook. I remember distinctly we would go to every bicycle shop we could find, trying to find the little caps that go on kickstands.
Yes.
just for having a nice tip to push with.
Yes. And I remember getting Snap-on screwdrivers from the Snap-on guy. They were like this long,
Yep.
and you heat them up, and you take the handle off, and you'd bend it, heat it with a torch, and bend it the best way that you could bend it, and then it would still be hot and slide the handle back on. And that would be your door tool. You know what I mean? That's what we used for a long time.
I think I have some that are Snap-on, that are straight. They're kind of like an ultra pick, but it's like a paddle on the end.
Yeah.
And they're Snap-on handles. And I had, and I don't have them. I threw it away. I know, but they were some of the original. I think they were Dent Doctor.
Was it a green handle or yellow? No, it was.
They were blue.
Okay.
But they were like the Don Grays, where you would loosen it, and you could slide it down. So it'd be like a J hook or a left and right, and they were you turn it and adjust. And I had those. I threw them away, and I never threw anything away, but I threw those away.
Threw them away.
Yeah, those are in a museum somewhere.
Yeah, somebody's. Hey, they may be still being used.
Yeah,
you know. So
they were all stripped out. They wouldn't tighten. You could like, you go spin, put any torque on it, and it would just spin. So they were old, really no good, but they were some nostalgia for sure.
I still have some of my old Dent Wizard tools. The D214. It was like this raggedy piece. Shane, my new guy, and I'm like, yeah, this is what I started with, dude. Like, I don't have these badass tools that you're using. I use this piece of metal to fix dents, and he's like, how did you even fix anything with that? I'm like, back in the day, we didn't use sharp tools back in the day. It was very blunt stuff. Flag.
Everything was big, thick, broad tips. Nothing sharp. Yeah.
So I always try to bring tools on for these guys. Some of the newer stuff we've gotten. I'm going to let you go first and bring on one of the tools you got from MTE, and we'll just kind of roll through.
Oh, so I have a few here on the table. So this one is a cheater because I didn't get it at MTE. I got it just before MTE, and it's that bad boy. That's Chad's.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And Chad is a good friend of mine, and I'm not pimping this tool because he's my friend. I'm pimping this tool because it works, and it's awesome. I mean, just big buckles, big smiles, anything that you want to just lay down, this does it. It comes with 4 sizes. So he hooked me up with this set like a week or 2 weeks before MTE, and this is amazing. I mean, it's something came out of my back pocket when I walked in the house today because I was using it all day.
And it's a lot like the Crown Jewel, as it doesn't divot, kind of moves the metal different. And I was a hater. Yeah. I have this conversation all the time. I'm like, Chad, you're my friend, but I don't know if this hammer is going to work. You know what I mean? He was like, just trust me. Just trust me. I was like, I don't know, dude. I really don't know. And then
I'm a big geek about hammers, and when I saw his hammer, I really just got it for the sake of having it, honestly. Just, having another hammer, just diversity. But when I got it, I'm like, holy smokes, this thing is awesome. Bedsides, tops of doors where you got to do some blending, but you don't want to, you got to be gentle. It's really soft. That thing just lays it down.
Yes.
Great tool.
Great. And I know that Dave Johnson uses them to push. I don't even have the full set because I gave it to my buddy from Belgium at MTE, but he uses them to push. So
yeah, I tried. So I will push with it, and I have the 4 sizes of it. It's got to line up where it's direct, right? Where you want it pushing direct. You can't be pushing at an angle or anything, or you'll kind of destroy it. And it's aluminum, so I was kind of scared because if something this big, I'm going to be putting a lot of torque on it. So I haven't pushed with it a whole lot, but I ain't scared to. I can see where it would definitely come in handy. Pushing, but
so
awesome tool.
I've got one thing that I got from MTE, and it's a Cam Auto product. And I just explained this to Matt before we came on. I had a really bad, it was like a $3,700 acorn damage car, and it was really just a roof and some roof rails. But right where the roof rolled, where that roof molding is, it was whacked right on there. And you know how hard it is. You're gluing a tab on a round surface, and it never really sticks.
Yeah.
Well, he's got this box of goodies here, And what it is, it's multiple tabs. You can build them. They have the little like eyelet you can use for the puller set that he has, or it'll go on your slide hammer. And there's a couple tips in there that I really, really enjoy. And this is one of them. And what it is it's got this like wing, you know what I mean? This little wing that hangs off here that sits down inside that valley. And instead of the tab just peeling off because it's half on that thing, you have enough glue in here to where it pulled. I mean, I pulled it and I looked at Shane and I was like, holy crap. You know, I can't believe, I think this would work on door edges.
Dog leg, or like a little bit up right by the striker on the back.
Yeah. So this is an awesome, that kit runs about $90 for that whole kit of tabs. It's got a bunch of unique kind of different shapes. It's kind of hard to see, but here's the other one I really like to use. I used on that same car. So it's a pretty unique tab. And I was a little worried about the brass or copper center because it is metal. But I used the crap out of these 3 tabs on that car, and it never damaged the paint. You know, you have enough glue there to not have an issue. But this tab right here, this is the money, man. If you guys don't have this tab, you better go out there and buy a Cam Auto, because this thing is a secret. This is a tech tip right here. Yeah. So, but what do you got after that?
Are they loose? Are they loose in there?
Well, you can adjust it. So you can pretty much, you take these apart. You have to build them out of his kit.
So it's got a stem that goes through it.
Yeah, it's got a copper screw that goes up inside here, and then you just screw it on. But it also adds, let me bring it up right here. I should have just had one out. This eyelet, and that works with his claw system. There's a couple different systems out there that you can pull on there and pull, you know, because he's a big collision guy and paintless, so he kind of likes to make it work for both systems. But hidden gem right here, bro. Better get yourself some. Hidden gem.
Yeah, I want to get the he had some real flexible tabs too that I saw that I liked. I was kind of digging, so I'm probably gonna have to swipe the card.
And it's really not, he's not overpriced. I mean, I feel like for all this tab, you know, all these tabs in here for $90.
Yeah,
it's hard to, you know, I can tell you one thing. I'd pay $90 for this one bent tab right now. No crap, because I could not fix that without this tool.
Well, then I pay the bills. That's right.
So what else you got over there as tools?
I haven't used it yet, but I can't wait to use it. It is these Dentcraft Edge.
Oh yeah, the fender blowout tool.
Fender blowout tool.
Yeah.
So what I've been doing to now is I'll put my so I don't have the fender pliers, but I have the original B&D. What's it called? Not the fender pliers, but the
edge pliers.
The edge pliers, yeah. Edge pliers. So I got those, and so I'll put that with the 2 stopper, you know, the 2 feet on the, and then I'll just ratchet strap the back of that so that the pliers are holding the fender.
Yeah.
Currently, but I saw these, and it was $60 for the pair, and I'm like, yeah, that just makes sense. I gotta get these. So
and it does work.
You have these
since Vegas, yeah. Vegas MT, I picked them up, and it's definitely a helpful tool. You know, it's all situational with that stuff, but it works. It definitely works.
But when you're in that fender and it's blowing out and you're scrambling and there's nothing else within reach, that I mean, this is money.
Yeah.
This finishes the dent basically, or allows you to.
I remember getting close to a wall, putting a prop rod and a ratchet strap. You know what I mean? You look like a gypsy out there trying to build a car, and the customer's like, does this guy really know what he's doing?
Sure.
You know, so that definitely is a helpful piece. Let's see what I got over here. And this thing, I'm super excited about this tool, and I'm sure you guys have seen it. It's the Crease Killer from Kiko. Super versatile. I kind of bought it in pieces. I didn't buy it as a full kit, and I'm kind of late to the show. It came out last year. I guess it was Vegas, or maybe MT before then. and I used it for the first time, and I really, really enjoy this tool. I like the control. I'm a little scared of it, to be honest with you. I'm not usually scared, but
Because the power?
oh my gosh, yeah, I'm scared. I've been watching those videos of Jonathan making new body lines in BMW doors. You know what I mean?
He demoed that tool for me this year, and they had an aluminum door that they were demoing on, and he was he was ripping lines up. And what's cool about that is that, like, if you use one mini lifter, and this is what he showed us, if you use one mini lifter, it'll pull a line, but the line will drop off on each side because those crease tabs don't have that strength to keep it out straight.
Yeah.
So it'll build a ridge, but it'll like a mellow on the ends. But if you use that, it keeps it up on both sides. So it literally builds a body line with that.
Yeah, the power of it is ridiculous. You know,
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. Just the power and the versatility of it.
Can you change the wideness on the feet of that?
You can change the feet. What I'll do is I'll pop one off. Maybe you're gonna see me struggling.
Because they got those real skinny crease tabs.
Yeah, like
and then they got the wider ones. And
they have these. These are the flexible centipedes, and then I also have the dead center centipedes that they came out with. But yeah, the feet have a smaller side and a wider side.
Yep, there you go.
So super versatile, and I liked it. If you need a regular mini lifter, you can take it apart. The only thing you have to change out is this foot here, or this what is it called? The adapter is what they call it. So wider that fits that centipede. Charles says on those tabs they're adjustable also. So
on the
cam auto stuff, yeah. He's in here watching, and he said it's adjustable, which makes sense because I guess you can unscrew that slide hammer part for the length of the slide hammer.
Oh, gotcha.
But the crease killer thing's pretty cool. There's another thing that I really want to get is the Cam Auto. He's got a new fender tool, and what it is, it's got a little foot. So I don't have the regular feet for the Kiko thing. So it has a foot, and then it has a spring with like a little hook. And what you can do is glue a tab down by the edge, and it's got that foot to keep the top of the fender planted, and you're going to lift, and it's going to not blow that edge out. The other thing he was using it on, so say you have a Tahoe and they have that longer lip on the quarter to where it's all double metal, and sometimes they get whacked and they're just folded in a little bit, put that foot and the hook right on the edge, and he pulled it and just pulled it right out. So that's another badass tool that he's got coming out.
Huh.
So, he's got some good stuff. So does Kiko. I mean, there's some amazing glue pulling tools out now. It's the K-bar.
Yeah, I gotta get in the Cam Auto game at some point. I was over there lingering, and it was Kiko and Cam, and I'm like,
Yeah.
My wife was like, just choose already. She's falling back and forth. So
it's all situational. That's the problem. You know what I mean? And we're only doing worse damage. And I just saw your post. I think you posted it today. Was that a Nissan Murano door?
Yes.
Oh, it was gnarly.
Yeah.
Go to his Instagram page, and it is just a terrible dent.
Yeah,
How long did it take you?
I don't want to tell you.
Hey, I'm not scared of a 5-6 hour dent, dude. That thing was bad.
It took me a while. I kept getting pulled off. So I started at 10 o'clock yesterday, and I didn't finish it till 10 at night last night. But I had to do a bunch of estimates. I'm trying to sell my RV, so I had to deal with that. So I was pulled back and forth, eat dinner, all that stuff. So I didn't work on it steady 10 hours, but I hung it at night at 10 o'clock last night, hung the door back on. So
that thing was terrible, dude.
It was beat. It was bad.
Terrible.
Yeah.
You got any other tools?
I do. I got these bad boys. The Sonics.
Those things are sick too. I don't have them, but Don Cavanaugh speaks so highly about them. So
Well, they're just so pretty. I mean, whether or not I use them or not,
Exactly.
too sexy to not have.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I can't wait to use them. I tried it on a hood, a sacrificial hood that I got in my garage, and I just stomped a big dent in it, and it raised it up. It gave it a little bit more texture than I wanted, as far as for a non-stretch dent. Just
of course,
seeing what it would do, and you can when you put pressure on it, you can roll it too, kind of like you do the Stanliner stuff. You can kind of roll it back and forth, and you can just watch it manipulate. So I was doing that, and it brought it up good, but I want to try it on something stretch. So
yeah, Bruce Helverson says the Sonics are awesome. They work great. I know he bought them as soon as they came out. So
yeah, I saw them right when they come out, and I wanted them, but like every new guy, I want to hold it and see it, and in my hands first before I buy it. But I saw those, and they were having a good deal. I thought they were more expensive when they first came out, but the show they were cheaper. It was $150 for the set.
Yeah, I think they were running a show deal, and that pretty ass box.
Yep, magnetic little deal.
Chad says get the Cam Auto. He's telling you that they work, and Chad originally bought the whole set. I mean, he has the big bridge, and it's he's got a ton of stuff. He was so excited when he bought it too. So
he tried to get me to get the whole set. He walked me over. He left his booth, walked me over to the Cambria. You gotta check. You gotta get this. You gotta get this. You need this. And I'm like, slow down, man. I got other stuff to buy. I had already dropped a buttload of money already at that point, but I got to get in some of that stuff for sure. I got a bunch of their glue. I've been using all their glue. Their glue's awesome, for sure.
The glue is even better when you get it hotter temperature.
Yeah. So I have, I got one of the Kiko heat guns that turns up. What temperature are you running that at?
His glue gun's running between 200 and 300 degrees. So
yeah, but what degrees do you recommend for that? Like just super hot?
I would run it at 2. Yeah. And that glue has so much elasticity in it. It's
and I heard that glue doesn't like to be snapped. It likes that slow pull.
Yeah. And then the reason why is because it's got that stretch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're trying to move that metal. So it's good stuff. I've been using it on and off. It reminds me a lot of the new tequila cold weather glue, just how the elasticity's there. But I know there's a lot of guys that are using it on everything, just the Cam Auto on all of their roof rails, and not just big damage. So I think it's all temperature based too. What the temperature is here compared to there, and compared to Vegas or California.
Yeah.
No.
I haven't tried that other stuff behind you. I haven't even messed with that at all.
This is the cold weather, and I got it right before MTE, and I love it. I mean, it's right now. It's in the gun all the time, and I'm using that new trifecta glue gun, and it's replaced my green right now. I don't know what it'll do when it gets hotter, because they do have a hotter one. There's a hot and a cold, but let me tell you. It is definitely replaced my stuff. So, one last tool that I have, and then we'll get into your story, because we're kind of rambling here about tools.
Well, I got a couple more too that I'd like to.
The new VIP Battleship tip. It's the gray color. I've been using it a lot. I was a big Pee Wee fan. This seems to be a little harder material. So, hasn't mushroom. I've been using it since I got back from MTE. It's a great knockdown tip from VIP. Yep. Non-marring.
So that's the Battleship.
This is the Battleship. Yeah, the Battleship's sold out at MTE. So, which is a lot of guys. It was a great MTE. So
it was awesome.
So what do you got?
This guy. Look at this.
Oh man, look at this Stanliner.
I went in, I ponied up. This is where I spent most of my money. I ponied up to the Stanliner booth first thing Friday morning. When they opened the gates, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But so I got this guy, and these were all I was trying to find stuff for the the big fender smashes.
Of course.
That's kind of what I was gravitating towards. And I got this one. I got all those hooks. I got this guy.
That's a beast right there.
It is, man. I'm trying to, you know, the only problem with it though is it's got to be the right dent.
It does.
Like
And
on most fenders, you're gonna not get it in the sweet spot. You're gonna get it somewhere else, like on the edge, you know. So I haven't been able to use it really how I wanted, but I think when I do, then obviously it's gonna be money. But
look at this. Josh is in here talking. It never got this cold in Florida. 88 today. Come on, guys. You guys live the life. We're up here scraping our windshields and letting the truck run for 20 minutes. I don't want to hear it, Josh. Come on.
My wife brought me some sunblock today.
Get out of here, dude. It's been raining. It's been raining since we got back from MTE, you know. What one is that? I didn't even see that.
This is the B&D.
Ah, that's one of the Lee Roth tools.
Yes, it is. And it's got a ratchet handle.
And I really like the feel of his new ratchet handles.
It's nice. And look, I mean, that's trying to give you the overall shape of it here. I saw this and I'm like, man, I'm going to put that tool somewhere. And first thing I stuck in a quarter and it just rolled it right out. Rolled a quarter size dent out, just one push, like nothing. And then I use it on that door, but I couldn't use it for a whole, it was braced up a lot. So that, I only used it for part of that door, but what it did, it was great. It's really sharp, dude. This thing will, like it's sharper than any whale tail I have as far as it's really sharp, but it's awesome. I love it. And it's stout, man. This thing's a beast.
And Mr. Dent Reaper says it was -30 in Minnesota today. So no more talking about heat or suntan lotion. So I'll tell you something. I'm going to get into this real quick. We've got Mr. Dent Reaper and he got a weird text from a weird number today. I'm like, I'm not even opening this link. You know, there's so much stuff out there. And then he calls me and we're talking. He's like, did you get your GIF? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, I made you a GIF. So he made me my own Dent Reaper GIF so we can use it on Instagram. So you're going to start seeing the Dent Reaper GIFs. He's killing the GIF game. So go right into Instagram and punch up Paintless and all the Reaper GIFs will come up. So it was funny. It was an interesting conversation. So let's get into your story. You've been in it a long time, and I've been kind of ranting and raving to a lot of guys. I get a lot of calls this week. Who is this Mr Boyett? I've never heard of him. I'm like, he's the world traveler, dude. He's been doing Hale all over the world, you know. So let's get into your role of traveling the world with your family. And I know I met you last year at MT in Orlando. Yeah. And you were like in Australia or something, or headed to Australia. And I'm like, this dude's got the life. Yeah. I was just about to leave. So he said, is it 9? Bryce Kelly's asking, is it 9/16 or is it ½ inch? It's bigger than ½ inch. I believe it's 9/16. I mean, it looks definitely thicker than yeah. It's big, man. I mean, I don't know what it is. It's the Atlas, I think the name of it is. I don't know. It might tell you on their website, but it's. Do you remember the price? It was a lot. It was. It was. I like that answer. He told me it was. I said, "How much, man?" Because I was gonna buy it before I even saw it. I saw it. Vince did a video of it when Lee Roth was at a shop, I guess, and that's when I saw it, and I'm like, sold. So then I went right to their booth, and I think it was 180, and I'm like, all right, give me one. He's like, well, that's not the handle, and I'm like, and the handle was like another $125. Yeah. So I think it was obviously around $300. So yeah, whatever. So let's get into your story. Let's get rolling because we're time is getting it. Yeah, man. So I started here in Jacksonville with a local company called Automotive Dent Specialists. And I'm pretty sure, and I just found this out, Dwayne Emerson, Power PDR Box, was trained through them. Okay. Which I just found out, which is really weird. But anyhow, they were just a local company here in Jacksonville. And we started with them. And that was in '98.
And Dent Wizard was refranchising, buying all the franchises back. And in 2000, they came in town and bought our company that I work for.
Okay.
And then I was a Dent Wizard corporate tech. And I was local here running a route. And I did that until 2012. Just ran a route. But I was really feeling like not challenged anymore.
Yeah.
Kind of felt like I hit a ceiling of billing that I just felt like I couldn't get out of, and also just of scenery. Like I was born and raised here, and I was like, man, I gotta go do something different. But I was at the top of my game as far as like my billing was. I was maxed. It wasn't like my billing was down. Like my billing was maxed, and I was doing great. My route was all really close, within 20 minutes of my house, and my billing was good. And I looked at my wife, and I'm like, I need something different. This is kind of getting old. So I had heard that the Hale guys and the Hale team was like the elite. They have this aura around them that they're like the Navy SEALs of the dent guys. Yeah. That's what I thought back in the day. So I'm like, I was either going to quit Dent Wizard because I was wanting this change. So I was either going to quit Dent Wizard or I was going to go join the Hale team and do that. So joined the Hale team. And so prior to that, me and my wife had decided that we were going to homeschool our kids. For other reasons, but when we decided to travel, it was just a natural, well, you're going to go with us, because my wife's a stay-at-home mom, and the homeschooling just made it a very natural, easy thing. I mean, yeah. So they just naturally went with us, and it was very important to me to not ever compromise my family dynamic. That was my main goal. It had nothing to do with money. Obviously, I wanted to be challenged personally, but I was not going to jeopardize my family dynamic, whether or not it was the relationship with my kids or relationship with my wife. And you hear all the stories, right? You hear all the stories about Hale guys.
Yeah. And it's a marriage breaker. You know what I mean? It's a tough life.
It can be horrible. And so that was my only rule. And it's like, we're going to do this, and we set boundaries for us as a couple. Like, we're not going to let the job dictate how we do our family life. Meaning, if the job dictates that I can't take you, then I'm not going on that job. Like, because it's very easy to get sucked into, oh, well, this is only for a month. It's only for 2 months. It's only for 3 months. We'll just stay home, and it's very, very easy unless you keep adjusting and directing that back. And
which is super hard. Because you're seeing ridiculous money being put in front of you, but I give you a lot of credit. You know what I mean?
It's very hard, and so they went with us, and we did the hotels, and so the van was originally that's what we chased in, because I would load up all my tools, all the homeschool stuff, all our luggage, all the kids' play stuff or whatever, the fun stuff. And that got us from A to B, and it was great. And all around the States. And then we had the opportunity to go to Australia. And it's pretty interesting. When I first started taking the family, I immediately thought, you're kind of thinking of the cons, and I was thinking for myself, it's going to be frowned upon because the people who, Dent Wizard, who are dispatching me, whatever, would see me as kind of like extra baggage that they have to contend with. And so I never wanted Dent Wizard to see that as a reason not to send me on a job, is because Matt's got extra baggage.
Of course.
So I never wanted that to be a factor. But eventually what it showed was that, man, I could stay on the road inevitably, because everything I needed was there. Like, I didn't have home calling me. I didn't have things at home dragging my attention or pulling me back. I could just stay at work and literally stay at work mentally and be there indefinitely. And I had I had 2 years back to back where I slept in my bed for 9 days.
So
9 days.
did you stay in that van?
No, we didn't sleep in the van.
Okay. I was gonna say, man, that's some long days. You know what I mean? You're working all day, you come home and there's kids and a wife and a van, and
we
so you
would
just
hotel.
travel.
We hoteled it originally.
Okay.
Back in 17, I got an RV, and that's what we did. The kids were getting bigger, and the rooms felt like they were getting smaller. So we were bursting at the seams, and so we had to get an RV. But yeah, man, just long seasons. I mean, I would go, to Australia from January to April, and 3 to 4 months, and the family be there with me, and then come right back here, have 2 weeks home maybe, and then go right into the season here and work until I possibly, until they kept coming in the door. And then that would be till October, November, and come home, maybe spend the holidays here, and then right back on Australia in January again. So we got to see a lot of the world. We got to spend a lot of time.
Now, when you were doing the international stuff, because you did stuff all over, where did you go? You did Australia?
So Canada and Australia and the States.
Okay.
Last year was an opportunity to go to Germany, but that fell through. I got asked. I said yes. And then I sat here waiting, and it fell through. And then I got asked to go to Turkey. I think it was Turkey. And I turned that down. I did not want to go to Turkey.
So the family went with you to Australia?
Yes. They've been 4 times.
How long were they there?
The entire time.
Like, no, how long were you there? Like, time-wise?
So from January till April.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And I remember it was a couple months ago, you sent me a video text of, I think it was some Japanese guys. Remember they were like,
the Koreans.
Yeah, they weren't using tools. They were kind of knocking it from underside. Explain that.
Dude, those guys, man, are I feel like when you go, I really feel like this. When you go to the Mobile Tech Expo, you have this culture of dent guys. I really feel like there's this whole other subculture of guys, and especially coming from Australia, because those guys never come over here. They're not making it. And there's a bunch of guys out there who are just phenomenal dent guys. They're absolutely amazing. And these Korean guys, Ben and Jason, they're good friends of mine, and they have the most crude tools. I begged them to try to come over here, but this is their season, so they've never been to a Mobile Tech Expo. I'm like, dude, Orlando, bring your camera and everything. But they won't do it because it's their season. Right now they're Cambria working. But they're just amazing. And the tools that they have are just very crude, very just garage made, nothing a lot of fancy. And they learned how to tap up from the bottom.
Yeah, it was the craziest video ever.
It's just the gnarliest nylon tapper, and it's this janky hammer, and they just knock it up from the bottom, and they are assassins with those things. And
they were just, I was like, holy crap. Chad originally told me, because I guess you told Chad, and then you sent the video, and I was like, how? That's so crazy.
Stretch dents, big dents, that's their preferred method. Hoods, they only use tools if it's out of reach. I mean, they're taller, and I mean they'll be like on a roof, just reaching way out, just bam, 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 bam. Where I'm like, how do you see the bottom of the dent, man? Like you got to get up a little bit, but they're so low reaching, just banging up stuff, and they get it. They're the cleanest guys as far as technically. They're super clean. They get all the worst smoked cars, and they're very humble. You ask them to do anything, they're absolutely amazing.
Was that because you were cherry picking all the easy cars?
No. These are cars that would be normally totaled or whatever, but they want to, they want to keep the job, so they send it to these guys.
Yeah.
So.
Mr. James Lee's in here, and I don't know if you guys heard, he like just got home recently because he had the flu so bad, upper respiratory infection. It's the MT curse over there, the flu, pretty crazy. I didn't get sick.
Somehow I dodged
it. So I want to announce real quick while we're still in your story how you guys can win this giveaway. When I let you guys know towards the end of the show, you have to comment on Facebook, on my Facebook page, on this live feed, and you have to comment Dent Freaks. I'm going to put a line in the comments to start it. We're going to let it run until 5 after 10. 5 after 10. And he is the bad guy, Mr Boyett, is going to pick a number, and somebody's going to win this stuff. As long as you're in the U.S. only. Sorry to all you guys in the UK.
Yeah.
But that's what we're doing. So I'll let you guys know when we're going to start the comments, but I want to get some more of Matt's story in here before we do all that. So in Australia, how, like, your family, did they go explore? Did they kind of just hang out? What were they doing while you were doing Hale?
So in Sydney, man, the public transportation there is awesome. So they could literally walk to a train, and it's very safe, and they could be anywhere. And they've seen the Opera House so many times, they're sick of seeing it. They've done it all in Sydney. And yeah, they would go explore during the day. I mean, when I'm there working, they all know that I'm there working, and I'm working from 6 to 6 days a week, unless they give me an extra day off. But I work if they want me to work. But they would go explore. And so she's homeschooling too, right? So she homeschools them during the day. So that's a good part of their day. And then they would go out and explore and then come back, and then she's cooking dinner. And then I come home and I got dinner ready and clean laundry and kids hugging me and a wife, and absolutely amazing. To me, that was the only way that I would do that. I would not do that without that happening.
How was the weather?
Really hot. A lot like Florida. But very hot, very humid. We're in these big sheds. They're just metal buildings, and they're just toasters, really. Just metal. You get by the wall and you can feel it. But really hot there. Very tropical.
How about the vehicles? Big difference from U.S.?
Yeah, because they have their odd cars and stuff that, they're Utes, and they're like the new El Caminos, and they have these long 8-foot long quarter panels. So they have their own, but the good thing about them is they're all small. Nothing there is big.
Yeah.
You're just now seeing, this year they started seeing some full-size Dodge Rams. I've only seen a couple, maybe one or two in my travels over there. You'll see a rare F-150, but it's only stuff that somebody's imported. You're not going to buy that there.
Yeah.
But most of the cars are small. You get a lot of Mazdas. You get a lot of tiny SUVs. So they're fairly easy. Working in the States, you're working on everything's freaking huge.
Yeah.
And it's a mile long, and you got to have, there it's like, man, this is, the damage is bad, but the cars are good.
Does it hail there a lot?
It does. Every year, as far as I know, and it hits these major cities. I've been to Brisbane once, Melbourne once, and Sydney twice, and just, beat to mess storms. Just destroyed stuff. So yeah.
How did you, if you had to pick any of the place that you worked, what was your favorite?
Well, they're all different. They're all my favorite for different reasons, I guess you would say, because Sydney is really cool for the city life of it,
Mm-hmm.
But Brisbane's really cool because it's very surf skater culture, which is what I am. So it's more my people,
My people.
So Brisbane's cool. Sydney, you get the big city, but it's very easy to get around, the public transportation and lots to see. And then Melbourne was cool because it's way down south and it was a little bit more spread out. It was kind of like a mix of both. And we always try to find something that we do. So like when we were in Melbourne, we did a lot of free diving and snorkeling, and we were doing that every weekend because you're right on the water, and we were swimming with seals and swimming with sea dragons, and
wow,
always at the beach, always snorkeling.
Now Danny's asking, how was the bracing in those smaller cars?
Same as here. Nothing. I mean, nothing is worse that I noticed. I mean, it's all the same stuff. BMWs, Mazdas. You get a few of the weird stuff, but nothing. I would much rather work on their cars than our cars.
Now, I'm gonna drill you with some questions. How did your kids adapt? Were they, because they were constantly moving and constantly on the go, but they got to see a lot of stuff. I've never been to Australia, you know what I mean? So they got to see a lot of cool stuff that a lot of kids don't get to see. How did they adapt to that?
Amazing. I mean, it was really cool. They were learning. We were at the Steve Irwin Zoo, which is north of Brisbane.
Wow.
And they're learning in their school curriculum about Australian kangaroos while we're at the zoo. They're, I got pictures of them laying down with kangaroos in huge fields and stuff, and they're learning about it when they get back to the room. So it's crazy, and they learned a lot, and not just Australia. I mean, we've been all over Canada too, and you mentioned Quebec. We've been all up in Quebec and just south of Quebec, worked up there, and it's all French, man.
Yeah.
When they hand you a Hale estimate, and I'm in a shop, and they hand you a Hale estimate, and the whole thing's French, right? like those are things you don't.
So what'd you do? How'd you fix it?
You figure it out, man. And luckily, there was one person, like the receptionist, who could help me translate. So like I made like a bunch of keywords, like, okay, this means right rear door, this means fender, and so then I, the dollars are the same. You figure that out, but the panels and what you're doing. So just process of elimination, really.
Oh my gosh, I can just imagine.
But all French, man. Like everything's French and very dairy up there, and cows and milk and bread, and like very cool. Very cool.
How about the damage?
Lighter. It was easy. It was light stuff. I mean, that storm, I don't, we've had some beat stuff up in Calgary, super beat stuff, but man, it's just kind of whatever. I mean, Denver's had some really, really bad storms last few years.
Yes.
I mean, I got stuck out there for almost 2 years straight, and just beat stuff just every day. But yeah, I mean, the kids adapt good. The kids, they've adapted good. But the reason we stopped, so this part of my story is that we don't do that anymore. I quit Dent Wizard. I quit traveling, and I'm doing my deal here locally just because my kids are getting older, and you could feel it. You could feel just the pull to be here and to be a little bit more grounded. And we wanted to be sensitive to that. And
you just knew.
I just
knew. Yeah.
I just knew. I mean, that's the only thing. Me and the wife kind of looked at each other, and we both knew, hey, this is time. And it was hard, man. Like I said, I quit Dent Wizard, and that was, almost 22 years with them. And that was bittersweet, honestly. Yeah. There's some really good people there. It's been a good company to work for. Did you go by the booth? Did you go by the Dent Wizard booth?
No.
You didn't go by there? Okay.
No. I worked the booth. Yeah. I worked the blend booth just about all day, both days. So.
Yeah. So my old bosses were there, obviously, and I reconnected with them, and Randy Sheridan and Chris Price.
Yeah.
But just
I see
amazing.
Rob Kaysen. I mean, we talked. I see him every year, and
just amazing guys. And Dent Wizard has its own culture, and one reason that I stay, because everyone asks me, why'd you stay with Dent Wizard so long? And man, they provided a good life for me. I would go to Australia and I wouldn't spend $1 of my own money.
Yeah.
Never spent $1 other than, stuff I wanted to spend, but it didn't cost me a dime to go over there. Dent Wizard facilitated all that. And, the benefits, having 4 kids, we had some health problems early on, and that was a non-negotiable for us, was to make sure we hung on to those benefits. It was have some good benefits, and so we hung onto that as long as we could until we just felt that squeeze, just knowing it was time to move on.
We got a mate in here right now, Aaron from Dentless from Perth.
Okay, yeah.
So
never been there.
He's Josh is asking, did you have to jump through a lot of hoops to work in Canada?
Man, I'm telling you right now, it is easier. I can be I can be loading up my tools in my garage and be in Australia working before I can even be close to Canada working. And I got drugged through customs so many times. I got my truck searched. I got my wallet searched. I got my phone searched. Canada is really, they make it hard. I mean, a lot of times the guys get turned back. You'll drive all the way to the border, north of Montana, and they'll turn you away. That sucks, man. To drive from wherever you're at in the States, to the border, for them to say, nope, go back. And they make it really hard. So I kind of bowed out of Canada a few years ago, just because it was, if I go to Australia and I work in the States, I don't want to go to Canada. Like, it was just too much on the plate. Plus it gets winter. Hale's there later, and it's always getting colder and into the, so I'm like, I'll pass on that.
Yeah.
But we went there early, and we got, checked off the list, did the whole Banff and all that stuff. So amazing country.
So, now you're readjusting to building a company, your route, your whole game plan. How's it going? Is it, like you said, it's an adjustment from Hale. It's adjustment. Now you're in your house and your family back at home, and that whole adjustment. How's it going?
That's going good, man. I mean, so Mobile Tech Expo this year was, I was doing a lot of shopping. My big dent game has been off. I used to do the big dents when I was the route guy here, and then you go on the Hale team and you don't even see them except for the round ones. And you get real specific with your tool set. You get real specific. I kind of had a rule that because I was in Australia for 4 months out of the year, 3 months out of the year, if I didn't, first of all, everything I had to be able to fly to Australia. So, and I'm saying if I didn't take it to Australia, if I could, then I wouldn't use it here in the States. Because that would be a third of my season, essentially. It would be in Australia. So I got this real specific set of tools, where I only traveled and I only used traveling. And so it got real specific, and I got out of carrying out some of these big stuff. And then, man, in the last 7 years, the tool game has changed so much.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So real quick, before we get any farther, I am flagging it right now on Facebook with this comment from here down. Comment Dent Freaks for the giveaway. We are going to go to 10-10 and pull a winner. So anything from here out, from this Dent Digest comment that I put through here, comment from here down if you want to win. Keep going. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, so this year was just readjusting and seeing what's out there as far as the big damage tools. So that's why I got all these stand liners and Kiko and Cam and all that stuff, because just trying to get back in the game.
Now, is that an adjustment for you? So I know a lot of Hale guys don't do a lot of smashes and a lot of side panel damage. You know what I mean? The bigger creases, and they're used to the Hale. And if they've been doing Hale for a long time, is it hard for you to readjust to the big damage?
Absolutely not. Not at all.
Okay.
No, not at all. No, that's something I kind of gravitate towards. I love challenges, and so I run towards a challenge. And when I see a big dent and something that you think can't be fixed, I want to fix it. And
of course.
So no, not at all. For a lot of guys it is, though. I've realized that on the hilt. There's because I started as a door dinger and then went to Hale. I was definitely at an advantage. There's a lot of guys who just start Hale and only do Hale.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see, man, you can see that just a lot of difference. I would say if you are trying to get into Hale and you're a door dinger first, you have a tremendous advantage for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Now, what's your expectations? How did you, when you went to MT this year compared to last year, did you looked at different tools because you wanted to step up your game? Before you got there and saw that stuff, did you already have an idea of what you wanted to buy?
So I yes and no. So yes, because I stay up to date with all the social media in the Dent community. I'm on all the stuff. So any new tool comes out, I'm on it. I just hadn't bought anything, right, in a long time. But I've been seeing the stuff. And so I've been watching the trends. I'm watching everything that's out. So I kind of knew what I wanted. So when we got to the Expo Friday, I had to I took the IMI certification that Friday morning, which started at 12 till 5. So it was the whole day. So I got there at 10 and I had 2 hours, and I told my wife it was like a shopping spree or Black Friday or whatever. I just ran in really quick. And I was kind of not talking to anybody. I was just making sure I got the tools that I wanted. So
what was the first thing?
Or a stand liner. I went right there and spent $1,000 on this stuff, and was broke after that. No, but I went right there and made sure I got all that stuff, because I know that kind of sold out and there might be limited quantities, and he's, so I want to make sure I got those in my hands, and then B&D. Obviously, I wanted to make sure I got one of those, and then went to the class, and then Saturday was just chill, and then I just walked around and got caught up, and it was just networking, and just seeing the stuff that was out there and getting all the little, smaller stuff that I had kind of overlooked.
Yeah,
that Friday morning, but it was a great show, man. Really busy. It was more busy Friday, dude. Were you there Friday morning when it opened?
You were working it. It was different. It was crazy busy. Like, soon as the doors opened up, it was like a Black Friday, sale. But Saturday was more consistent. So it was just like Friday we got slammed as soon as you walked in, and then Saturday was just kind of a constant boom, 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 the whole day. Yeah. So it was a great show. I mean, it was probably the best MT I've ever been to. For one, I think there was a lot of tool innovation, which was awesome to see. And I think having a little better Hale year than they had the year before helps, for people to have some more money and to buy. But I really think that the tool manufacturers really brought it. They really brought the innovation. So a lot of new stuff.
A lot of new stuff. I loved it. I geek out. I'm a tool geek, man. I geek out there. And, I'll walk around that place 10 times and I'll look at the same thing, same booth, and I'm just going around, and the wife's just like dragging by me. But, it was, I'm like, hey, this is my day. Just deal with it.
Yeah.
She's totally cool.
So as of now, if you look back, do you miss chasing Hale? From today, you woke up today and you're like, I'm going to go work. Just got done with this busted Murano door for 10 hours, and you missing it?
Man, it's just different. Not really.
Yeah.
There are things about it I missed. Like, doing Hale, when I first started doing Hale, it was dealing with the damage. Then once you kind of feel like you've come across any damage and you can just eat through any damage, then it got really just to like efficiency. Like I was really geeking out on how I can be more efficient and get through a car faster. And the damage was just the damage. Like, you're not thinking about the damage. You're just thinking about the efficiency of it. Okay. So I really, really loved that part of it. Like, just trying to get really dialed, and, from everything to how I move my light, to how many light positions I put on my rail, to what part of the car I start and how I go around it, clockwise or counterclockwise, whatever. I mean, just going over every little thing like that and trying to figure, where do I start on a hood and how do I, thinking about all those steps. Because I don't know if a lot of guys do. Maybe they do. Maybe they can comment on here and say they do or not. But, when you walk up to a Hale car, where do you start? What's the first thing? It's going to be overwhelming, right? I mean, you got a car with 1,000 dents on it, maybe.
Yeah.
Where do I start? What's my first dent I fixed on it? And thinking about
the fastest. Yeah.
What's the fastest way? And getting in a rhythm to where every car was approached the same exact way. It doesn't matter if it's a Murano or an F350 or Mini Cooper, whatever. You do every car the same way, and you get really efficient. And so I really like that part of it. I like the traveling of it, but again, it's all kind of seasons. Like, I don't think I disliked any of it. I just think that this is, just another phase. Yeah. Another chapter.
Make sure, if you guys want to win this Dent Freaks giveaway today, you comment Dent Freaks on Facebook to win this at 10:10. Mr. Matt Boyett is going to pick a winner. He's going to be the bad guy. You're going to get the hate mail instead of me.
Right.
So what do you, right now, like you said, you're still trying to step up your big dent game and really get into that. And because the industry's changed. I mean, there's a lot of stuff now that I'm fixing that not a chance in hell I would have fixed that in any way. But back in the day, I passed on millions of dollars of work.
Sure.
Millions.
Yeah, man, it's just been new ways of approaching a dent.
Yes.
From the way that you approached a dent, 7-8 years ago, which is when I started doing Hale, from the way that you approached a large dent then, how do I approach it now that's different? And so I'm thinking of ways and just seeing what's out there, and definitely glue pulling. I'm telling you right now, when I first got introduced to glue pulling, I was on my lot and a dent wizard manager brought me a glue kit.
The Worth kit.
And I'm like, get this thing out of here. This thing is junk.
Yes.
And he's got those Worth tabs and he's trying to pull the glue off. It's not coming. And it came with a Brillo pad.
And then denatured alcohol. It would get all slimy.
He's like, man, you gotta try these out. I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna push the dent. I'm not gonna. And I totally kicked against it, the glue pulling thing, right when it came to me. But I mean, I still got some of those tabs, by the way. But I think about it all the time as far as like how far it's come to where, man, it's really efficient. It's really effective.
Come on, you know what I mean? Like
crazy, absolutely crazy.
It's nice to see the industry evolve with tool, like I said, the tool innovation. I mean, some of this stuff it's crazy. It's crazy.
I'm looking at the Kiko collision page that's been popping up.
Yeah.
And there's body guys out there doing work, man.
Yeah.
Big dents.
Man is asking how far do you prefer to set your light when you're doing Hale?
Well, if it's a hood,
just
on the other side of the hood. And I don't move my light when I do a hood. I move my hood, and I'll set my light on one spot, and my hood stand, if I got a deep dent, I'll walk it up really close to it and get that low out, or get the bottom out, and then I'll walk it real far back, and then finish it out. So instead of moving the light, I'm just walking with the hood stand.
What lights are you using?
What light?
Yeah.
It was Pro PDR, but now I just got a D&E. I got a 52-inch D&E. That thing's it.
Yeah.
That thing's awesome. Awesome. That's what I used on that door yesterday, man. It's such a good light.
Yeah. I like the Pro PDR stands that fold up nice and are small. That's what helps me.
See, I can't stand that stand. I absolutely hate that stand. As a Hale guy.
Yeah.
As a Hale guy.
Now, why?
It moves too much.
Yeah.
It moves around too much. There's too many joints. It's like I go to move it, and it's like a wet noodle. It just kind of
does kind of move around periodically just by itself.
I have, what light I have, and I have a bunch of them. And if anyone's selling them, I'll be interested in maybe buying them. I have the old K-Boom. Those are my light stands. Wow. The old Adventure aluminum. I cut them short, and you switch out. You put a blim arm on it. You put the A1 chuck on it. Put a D&E light on it. That thing is money.
D&E.
Every other stand is worthless to me.
It's, even the D&E stand is kind of a knockoff of the Ultra. It's very similar.
Well, they're all good stands, but like when you get in a tent with 120 guys, I mean, I'm jobs sometimes with 120 other dudes, and you're shoulder to shoulder. Like, that stand is good until you're in that situation.
Yeah.
Then that stand is basically garbage when you can't even get it between the vehicle that you're working on and the partner beside you. And you got to turn it or work it through like a puzzle.
Yeah.
Then that stand's a problem. So like with the K-Boom stand, they're really small footprint. I mean, it's literally like that. Blim came out with an awesome stand, and I don't think he gets credit for that. That stand is awesome.
I don't even think they're making them anymore. I'm not sure what they're doing. So
when I talked to him, he said he was making the stand, but not the light.
Yeah.
And I told him, I'm like, dude, keep making that stand. That stand is fun. Don't deprive us of that thing.
Jose on here says he uses the limited light, the Hale light, and he says it's amazing. So I just got one from MTE, so I have not used it yet.
The only thing I didn't like, so I love how wide it is. I like the super wide lights. I just didn't like how heavy it was.
Yeah.
And the reason I got the D&E light is because it's 52 inches, so it'll go completely across a roof.
Nice. So
like if I set my light up on a roof at the front of the windshield and I'm at the back working, there's always this little 8-inch strip on the one side that you're trying to see.
Different angle. Yeah.
The D&E covers almost all the roofs, so you don't have to, you can work progressively right down the roof.
Yeah. Yeah, Daniel was trying to talk me into D&E before I bought the Pro PDR the other year. Yeah. So I was like,
it's got a good fade. It's got good controls on it, man. It's really nice. It's quality.
Yeah.
And to give them credit, I had a warranty issue with this one that I have. I couldn't keep the seal on the side. And so I talked to Casey from Dent Tools warehouse, is where I bought it from.
Oh, yeah.
And he's hooking me up, warrantying it all.
Yeah, those guys are great. Francisco's in here, and he's an awesome dude. He's one of the truck sales guys that they have, and just super nice people.
Yeah, really, really good people, really good light. I love it. It's awesome.
Hale Rod, what's your go?
So I have very specific, man. I got the Drew's big square aluminum beast that goes to 12 foot. And again, that will break down and it goes in my gun case so I can take it overseas. And I have Drew's shorty breakdown carbon.
Okay.
And that thing's money too, man. And I like that because it doesn't have a T handle on the back. It's just a straight.
Yep.
And I can reach over and drop it right in my cart and reach over and pull it right out of my cart and go to work. And I don't have this, because if you have the T handle, and then by the time you put a tip going north and south on it, whatever, then getting it in a hole in the cart is really awkward and it's time. And without that T handle on the back, you can just pull it right out, work.
I'm a carbon tech and a Endeavor. I use both.
Yeah, so Chad gave me the Endeavor, and I have a custom length one that he made for me that would go in my travel case. Yeah. But again, it was a little bit bigger than what went in my cart.
Yeah.
So yeah, for here, I would much rather. I have a 7-foot one of his, trying to eliminate that big Drew's because that thing is awesome, but it's big, and it's bulky, and it's gnarly, and if it hits a car, that thing's going down. So yeah, definitely Chad's. I have that 7-foot one. I would much rather go to that one if I can.
I use Chad's 3-footer. I love Chad's 3-footer for fenders. Unbelievable on fenders.
2-footer one, right? Have you seen this 2-footer one?
It's like maybe it's 2.5 or 3. I thought it was 3 foot.
It's the shortest thing he's got, right?
Yeah.
I got that.
Stout. It works great. I mean, at first I was, like I said, I was kind of like, that's different. You know what I mean? I really like the angle tips, which is nice game on there. So
absolutely.
Lyle's in here saying how great James Lee's customer service is. His customer service is unbelievable.
Dude, he's outstanding. I had an issue with him earlier this year where I ordered a glue gun and the wrong one came, and he made right on that, overnighted it. I had the new gun the next day. I called him in the evening or like late afternoon, and I had the new gun the next day. Just
it's crazy.
Amazing.
I have an issue. I have a version 3 of his light, and it just never worked right. Like, it just kept sucking and would fall off the car. And I was at MT, and I said, look, this is one of your pre-order version 3s. I've had nothing but problems with it. And he's like, why didn't you call me? Why didn't you call me? And I was like, dude, I got so many of your lights. I'm not, it is what it is. It is what it is. So he's like, come here. Grabs me, gives me a brand new light, says, just send the other one back when you get home. And I'm like, dude, it's been a year since your version 3's been out, and I haven't stressed about it. So I'm not stressing. He's like, I was like, sell this thing. He's like, no, just take it. You know, just his customer service is bar to none.
Awesome, dude.
Straight Lines is asking, who sells the D&E and how much? Dent Tools warehouse has them. They carry them. So how much was that, the 52-inch?
So I only ordered the head. I didn't get the stand. Man, I want to say it was like right at $6 for the head.
Okay.
But you can get it with the I think it's like $950. Please don't quote me. I think it's $950 with the stand.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're looking for, I mean, that comes with the whole knuckle and everything, complete light, ready to go. You know, I have Frankenstein mine all up, but
no, never loose.
I don't use an ever loose. I'm not opposed to it. I have a custom one that I made that was just works.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna have to get an ever loose. That's probably one of my next things.
They're asking, what's your favorite blending hammer?
The titanium.
Dent
wood handle,
right?
CarePoint had it this year.
Okay.
Looks like a teardrop, you know, as far as the
handle,
and it's the light one. So I have a few, and a really good hammer that I just bought was Christopher Ray's Blim.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen that hammer?
Yeah. He had Blim make them. Yeah, it's heavy. It's a heavy hammer.
It's a 200 gram hammer.
Yeah.
And it's great. And that thing, I'm telling you, you get a heavy hammer, and it blends so different. You can just watch it blending, like
it's creating more vibration.
It was so good. That thing stays in my back pocket. But for like, you know, far out blending, I like wood, man. Like I like wood handles. I don't know, and so I like that. I don't know who makes it. Who's in that company? I don't know.
I don't know, but I know what hammer you're talking about.
Like a nice little wood box.
Yeah.
And the other blending hammer I got, and I picked it up this year, and I had to search for this thing. It's called the Best.
The Best.
It's called the Best blending hammer. It's a dude in Brazil makes it, and it's got this Brazilian wood hammer or a handle, really dark. I think they're related, like they're somehow affiliated. Those two, very similar. Except it doesn't have the bells and whistles. It's the same shape, head, but nothing
comes off.
And none, you know, the handle is just plain. There's no magnets or rubber rings or anything on it.
These guys are so nice to deal with. I mean, English, little broken English, but they were just so welcoming and, you know, asking questions. And I also picked up the slide hammer that they have with the magnets in it.
Yeah, that thing looks sweet.
I like that it doesn't make any noise. It's got rubber O-rings at both ends and doesn't smash, you know, really help with the vibration. But well, very guys, cool. I'm going to let me see here. I'm putting an end to the Dent Freaks giveaway, and I'm gonna have to count them. So I'm gonna have you talk for a couple minutes. And the giveaway is over. So I'm going to let you just kind of go about whatever you want to talk about for a couple minutes while I'm counting these guys up. And let's go from here. You guys have any questions for him? You
Here,
know,
I can see some comments here.
what are you using whale tail wise?
Dude, my set, just the Dentcraft whale tails, man. I use the Dentcraft whale tails. I use the Dentcraft left and rights. I just got the Sharp left and rights. They have the yellow and black or the red and black handle. Those things are pretty sweet. But man, for hoods, I tried the tequilas, but you know, when I'm working a hood, you twist and then you pry. Those tequilas don't give you that ability that I like to twist and pry. So the Dentcrafts just are money for that, and I haven't been able to get away from them. So the Dentcraft standard whale tails, the Dentcraft. Have you seen the Dentcraft ratchet handles?
I have.
Dude, I got a door tool from them. The thing is super slick, man. It's like $65.
Their price points are crazy.
I'm like, what the heck? For Dentcraft, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's, what do they call it? Indexed handle.
Okay.
They call it the indexed handle.
So I got to stop by. This year I worked up in New York City, Hale, and we traveled from New York all the way down to Dallas and got to stop in Dentcraft, which is pretty sweet, man. You know, being a dent guy for that long, as long as I have, and to have always used Dentcraft, to get to go see their headquarters was pretty sweet. A little bit of nostalgia there. But I tell you, man, some of my original, someone's asking the Excalibur tools. Yes, Excalibur tools are awesome. I haven't got into them for the AKs, the aluminum killers, any of that stuff. I haven't got into it for the rods. I got into it for their original, what are they called? Those bent, the 3 size left and rights, the big bent tools. That was my first.
Screwdriver set is awesome too. That little screwdriver set.
Those bent things, man. Those things are money. I mean, for deck lids and hoods,
super strong.
You got to have them. You got to have them. Everybody in Australia always tries to buy them from me. I tell them so. They can't get tools over there.
That's crazy. Why?
Oh my gosh, man. Like, well, they can get them, but they got to pay like 3 times as much. One year I was using this Kiko slapper tip, that big flat square thing, and dudes were wanting it. They were going on a website. It's like a $40 tip. They were having to pay like $160 to get it there.
So we got 19 people. So 1 through 19, and we are going to. You let me know. You know, let's roll the number 1 through 19.
The number is 9.
Number 9 is the winner.
Yeah.
So let's see what we've got. Number 9 is the winner. Let's see what we've got here. Let me get back in here and count again. You just keep talking to your slapper tapper tip.
Well, what I was going to is that tools are really expensive to get in Australia. They have to pay for shipping. A lot of times it's got to sit in customs for however long. So when I would go, I mean, the kind of right thing to do there is sell all your stuff to them when you leave. That's kind of
really,
yeah. So it's cool. I mean, you can sell it for almost what you paid for it, and then buy new stuff when you get home, unless it's real specific stuff, right? So, but yeah, they and that's kind of how I got hooked up with Chad. Man, was I pimped out some of Chad's stuff over there, introduced them to his stuff, and his stuff was so small I could take it, a bunch of it in a suitcase. I did that with him and the Williquick stuff.
George Gomez is the winner.
George
Gomez. Make sure you send me your contact info to get this stuff over to you. And you won the Dent Freaks paddle and Anson glue giveaway.
Congratulations, George.
Super cool. I'm so, I love being able to. A lot of these manufacturers, man. I mean, Brent sent these over to give away, and Anson's been supporting me since day one. So I try to give back to these guys, and I just truly enjoy it, man. It's been fun.
That's awesome.
Everybody
loves getting free stuff.
Oh my gosh, yeah, you know. Hey,
Absolutely.
so I can't believe you sell all your stuff there. You know, it
Yeah,
makes
well,
sense.
yeah. I mean, those guys, it's hard for them to get it. They'll pay you fair for it, you know. And then when I get, it saves you from having. I mean, just to get my tools there, just to get my tools on a plane there is about $1,000.
Sure.
Um, so to get them home is about $1,000. So if I can sell most of my stuff, save some of that money, buy new stuff when I get home, hey, it's a win for me.
Yeah, yeah.
So absolutely, and it hooks them up. You know,
How can these guys find you on social media? What's your handle?
my Instagram is the Dent Slayer, and my Facebook page is All Out Paintless Dent Removal.
Nice. And you guys got to check out Dude's van because it's badass. It really is badass.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
all safaried out.
It's super cool. So I really appreciate you coming on, man.
Absolutely.
You know, Chad kept telling me, he's like, you got to get Boyett on. His story's unique. You got to get Boyett on. You know, with him going all over the world with his family, and that doesn't happen a lot. So,
and we're still together too, man.
Crazy things, things. You know.
That's right.
So I appreciate you coming on, and make sure you guys go follow him and look at that damn Murano door he did, because it's gnarly dent. So
yeah,
I appreciate it, bro. You know, it's been fun. I'm sure we'll get you back on here in the next few months and maybe a year and see where you are. I'm gonna do here in probably the next 7-8 months, I'm going to do a recap and bring some of the guys back on some industry stuff that's changed and guys that have grown their businesses and see where they are. So should be fun.
Absolutely. Sweet.
Well, I appreciate you staying on, and I appreciate all you guys watching us. And remember, guys, keep it real. Have a great night. Thanks for hearing us ramble about dent stuff. See you guys.
See you guys.